Okay, so Docker compose exec express. Nope. I want watch. There we go. Okay, so I did that. Now Docker PS, it didn't work. Okay, so it crashed immediately. So okay, so you're right with that. Now if I want to Docker, let's take you down. I want to do a Docker compose down. Let's just copy the package.json. Maybe instead of like everything, we'll just copy that one file, package.json 2/code. I have another thought. Hold on, I have another thought. And I think you're thinking about it too, which is that I need to save them and make changes. So you're not running, but what if I go through all these different things? Okay, so here's all these different files. If I touch app, did I create a star? I did not create a star. Touch. Compose. Oh, wait, it stopped looking. It's interesting. Okay, so it caught the app when I did that, when I did a touch for it. It didn't seem to care about the rest of them. Okay, so if I do a Docker compose restart, it wasn't running though. Oh, I didn't think it was running. Okay, so Docker compose restart. Express cred. I want my logs. Where's my logs? Okay, so connect's not found because the node modules weren't added in here. Okay. So then, interesting. If how do I get the node modules to show up? You can't touch a directory, right? That won't like update the date that it was up with it. It didn't update. What if I do connects there? Did you crash? Okay, so pulling you in. Yeah, okay, but connects is not really there. Oh, okay, so here's my theory. There's no initial the files don't exist when it starts, but every time I save one, it then syncs it in. So it adds it in there. But the problem is the entire app needs to be added, and there's no like in it for it to say like, okay, start by putting everything in there. That's where the copy comes from. So I need to copy it in and then in it. Okay, so in, all right. I've snoozed a bunch of times for ads. They're about to start again. So I might take a break and then go find Zilby and bring him down, which will be fine. But in here, if I want my reference for compose file services, is there a copy? Ooh, I don't see a copy or an add. Interesting. Okay, so we'll choose the appropriate one for copy or add when I get back from the break. But break is starting in 10 seconds, and that's going to run 3 minutes of advertisements, and that way the pre-roll gets turned off for the next hour. So I will be back in 3 minutes, and we'll continue figuring out Watch and figuring out what the best way for us to work is. So I will be right back, hopefully with Zilby. So see you in a couple minutes. And that should start any second now. Maybe. All right, ad break is finishing in a few seconds. But we have a Zilby. Yep, Zilby's definitely back. Are you happy here? You wanna come up here? All right, he doesn't want to go to his spot on the desk. Zilby, you want to hang out with us? Come on. Stay up here with us. Or down here with us. Okay. Regardless. All right. I think I understand what is happening with Cargo, with Docker Watch now. Whenever the file gets changed, it syncs it. But there's no initialization, and that's our problem. So we need to have some way to tell Docker to add in what I want it to be there, like initially. But it doesn't look like there is that way. There is something for us to do inside of the Docker compose file. So because of that, we must have an add or a copy in the Docker file to make sure that those files exist there before we start playing around with them. So that's the That's the key. So let's go back to our Docker file reference and figure out. I keep on forgetting, and I know you all told me last time. Let's see, we have copy and we have add. We have add local or remote files and directories, and then we have copy, which is copy files and directories. I think just add is fine for this. I don't think I want to chown them. I don't think I want to chmod them. Oh, there's an example at the bottom of the Docker Compose watchdocs. Ooh, wait, really? Where? Was it like really far down? No. The Better Owen, thank you so much for the subscription. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And 4 months now. And how are you doing today? The stream is going pretty well. These are, I guess like this month is the first month that we've been doing the really long streams because we started that at the beginning of January. Okay, so what is file watch? Is that different than this one? Copy. Oh, it's Compose Watch still. Okay. So was this where we just were? No. This is Compose File Develop Illustrative Example, and this is Compose File Watch. Okay. So, oh, it's under manuals. Got it. A common pattern is for initial content to be copied into the container using the copy instruction in a Docker file. To ensure such files are owned by the configured user, use the copy chown command. Okay, so there it is. It's just telling us we should use copy. So we do our add user, we switch the user, and then we use our copy. Okay. And then, okay, so there's also the examples. Okay, so services, build command, develop watch. Yeah, so I think the copy is what we need to do. So we need to add this in. Yeah, so the new schedule, the Better Owen, is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then I have themed days. So it's no longer like one stream in the morning, my day job, and then evening. I switched my day job switched to 10 hours a week instead of 25. So I now do that all on Fridays, which means that Monday I do a full day stream of a project. Right now that's the Build Your Own Git client from scratch in Rust. And then Tuesdays is course creations. We're building the Docker course. And then Wednesdays is Fun Stream. We're playing at TIS 100, which is a Zachtronics programming game where we code assembly to play it, and we're getting pretty close to ending on both the project and this one, which is fun. Okay, so copy. So we need to update our update our Docker file. So after we switch over to our user, so we need to copy in our code. So copy in our code so that when it, okay, so that we have everything. So we have like an initial copy of the code. So we have initial. We have initial version of the code. This works closely with watch in the compose file, so that when files are updated, they will be synced. Okay, so we're gonna do a copy. I want to copy. How does it work again? It's a copy. Oh, with a -- chown. Okay, so chown, and chown is equal to code. So the user in the group code, and then that. Okay, that's that. So copy everything in here to /code. So once we have that, then we come back to here. That's down U. And watch. There's our copy. So that puts all of our code in here. Okay, so that's great. Now, if I run this, we could do our curl. Our health check is updating like that. Now, if we come back over to here and we go to our app, let's bring this back to I am healthy. There, I am healthy. And our compose file is just doing a sync. So it's not like restarting the container. It's just syncing the files, and then the container, everything is still working. Oh, right. So this is still working because when the file gets updated, but after copying in, then the server restarts automatically because we're using NodeMon. So those two things working together are what works with it. If we didn't have NodeMon, then we'd have to use the sync plus restart. And this gives us the fastest possible updates for this. So, okay, pretty nice. Let's create an article for this. It's a little bit, I think there's a little bit to explain for it, but I don't think it's that bad. It just is an initial little bit of weirdness. So this is going to be using Docker Compose Watch to avoid, I guess, using Docker Compose Watch. Maybe we'll just call this Docker Compose Watch. Okay, so when was this released? Does this say? Okay, so starting in version 2.22, which I'm not sure when that was released. Is there like a history where I can see like, oh, hey, that was like last year on February or something like that? We can, is there a change list? I mean, maybe. Release notes. Okay, yeah. So wait a second. When was watch? Okay, so in 2.24.1, they removed watch command from the alpha command, which means that it was ready to go. And because I don't think, yeah, that was it. We're in 2.24.2 now, and it was 2.24.1. So on, oh, January 18th. This is really new. I thought it was maybe last year sometime, but apparently my sense of time is way off. Okay. So, all right. So, starting in January of 2024, Docker Compose added the watch. So manual, I want, okay, watch here. Config. Okay, so this allows us to move away from volume mounting. This allows us to move away from mounting our local volume to the application container, so that since we won't have a volume bind, the changes will be faster and take less resources. We'll probably see improved speeds on systems that are using virtual, like not VPSs, like virtual systems. I guess like Docker, like I guess like on systems that we'll just say it like this, on Macs and Windows. Okay, so we should probably have greater, so there's always been this problem where Macs and Windows, because they're having to spin up a entire like virtual system on their own to then run Docker using, always makes it a little bit slower than just Linux systems where you can just run the Docker engine on its own and it uses the entire kernel and everything else directly from your system because it doesn't have to spin up this entire virtual OS, which is great. Like, you know, that's awesome to have anything be faster with for this. And I'm actually really curious. We try to run Axum inside of Docker, and it was just so friggin' slow. And I wonder if this is going to improve the speeds for it, because that would be really good if it did. Okay, so let's update. Okay, so there's two things we need to add. Order to make watch work. Watch work for watch work. So one, we need to copy in our code in the Docker file. So copy our inner code in the Docker file so that all of the files and folders are present when the app starts, when the containers are first started. And then for number two, it's going to be we have copy in our code, and then replace the volume mount, the volume bind mount, with a develop watch config. So the Docker file. Okay, so for this, we're going to maybe like we'll be using the Express CRUD application as an example here. Okay, so we're starting with the Docker file that looks like and so it'll basically have everything other than the copy in here. We'll need to copy in the code. Okay, so we'll need to copy in the code, and the image is created. Okay, with the copy config. Since the user code will be running the code, we need to make sure that it has that it owns this code. We'll use the copy it's not what I wanted to do. That's what I wanted to do. Okay, so we'll use the copy chown code command to copy in all files and folders in the same directory as the Docker file, and set their user and group to code. We need to do this after creating the user, creating and switching to the user. So it's less of finding a fix and more of finding like just the official way to do it according to the docs, which wasn't the link that you gave to me. So thank you very much for that, X. But yeah, so we need to basically do this command. We need to do a copy --chown code. So like basically user group for the user that's going to be running this. And then we need to do that after we create the user in our Docker file, and then we can use our sync command inside of the Docker compose file. So it's a 1-2 punch type thing. Is that indicative that the command runs before the sync? No. So the problem that we discovered is that there's no initialization. So what happens is if you set the sync, it's like, okay, I'm syncing all these files, but the files don't exist inside the Docker container. They exist outside. So if we whiteboard time. So if we say that this is our Docker container, yeah, that's the problem. So here's our container. It has nothing inside of here, right? And then we have our local system. Over here, and so you have a bunch of files. So we have file A, we have file B, we have file C. Initially, none of these are in the container, but as soon as I touch it, even if I just do the touch command, so it just updates the timestamp for it, that gets synced into here. So then you become synced. Now it exists inside the container, and that's the reason why I can create a new file and it gets put inside of there. But the problem is when the container is first initialized, none of these exist. And so my command is run app.js and like start it, or basically npm run start. So what do you need? You need every single file already in there, which kind of sucks. And so there's no initialization in the develop section, which that kind of feels like it should have it, right? Like there should be some kind of initial sync thing there, but they don't have that. So instead, the official docs suggest that you throw a copy in there. And the copy at build time for the image copies all these files in there like that. And now every time you make a change to it, that then syncs it and says, oh, hey, you just changed. So that's the way we have to do it. It both makes sense and it's frustrating at the same time, because I kind of would like to not have to do tilt. Sounds like it would work for this in some use cases. What's tilt? How do you copy dev dependencies? So in this case, we have to make a decision for, okay, so you mean like global dev dependencies, like things that are on your system? You'd have to do run commands to install those. It feels like you might need two Docker files then. One Docker file for development purposes and one Docker file for production. Or multi-part the Docker files, so that way you have like, okay, here's our base Docker file, and then for the development, we sort of like have the add-on, the extension to that. Yeah. But you couldn't have like a one size fits all single Docker file, which is not bad. It's not a terrible thing. It just means that you have to think about it. You have to have that in your mind when you're building that. So anyways, this is how that works. So for us here, our Docker file is now going to be we're going to add in this. Oh, and I oop, that's not what I want. Oh shoot, that's going to delete all that stuff. There. Okay, so now, oh, actually I didn't want to put the copy in here. I wanted to basically have these and just put you in there. Okay, so now, we'll need to make sure that we have, well, no, even if we don't have that, even if we pull that in, okay, so that's not gonna work. Tilt is a simple tool you recently discovered. It will build your stuff and start containers. With Kubernetes, YAML files are just local, and it can sync your development folder with the folder container to have it live reload like Node or whatever it does for you. I mean, it sounds like what this is doing, but maybe it like configures it for you, or maybe because this is like super new, maybe this is trying to take some of what Tilt is like taken away from Docker to like, oh no, we can do that too. Maybe that's what it is, because we've discovered that this was added in, this was removed from alpha on the 18th of this month. So a few days ago, Oh, Docker acquired Tilt? Well, there you go. Docker acquired Tilt, and they're just taking what they just take what they want. And I wonder what that means. I wonder if that means they're going to kill Tilt. They're going to like consume everything they are, incorporate them into Docker, and then Tilt's gone. Maybe. We've seen that with a lot of other applications and a lot of other acquisitions. Or Tilt might still stay its own thing. Who knows? So even if we don't have the latest version of our code here, so even if we need to do a git pull and we're like, oh, we forgot this stuff, it should still work because those files get changed as things get copied and moved around by Git, which the watch should catch and then pull it in. So everything should be fine. So, okay. Now, okay. So then we have our compose file. So now that our Docker file has the, I guess like our Docker image, we'll have the code copied into it. We can add the watch to the compose file. Compose that YAML file and remove the volume bind. Here's what we're starting with. Okay, so I want to remove you. Okay, so we're good on that. So we're going to remove our develop watch. And we're going to have our volumes dot to slash code here. Why are you upset? What did I do? Oh. Oh, YAML. Because I put tabs in there instead of spaces. That's why. A comment you saw in that doc that was interesting. Docker Compose Up should continue to work for your project, just you lose sync. Which kind of sucks, right? Because now you have to use watch. Because if you want to use a Docker up, your code is gone. I guess that's not completely true. Your code is still in there because of the Docker copy, right? But it's static. You can't update it. Watch allows you to then update it. Okay, so that makes sense. So yeah. Okay, so we have this. We'll remove the volumes object and replace it with the Docker watch object. I guess it's the watch object. Okay, so this is like the bare minimum of what we're seeing in here. So we have our, for Express Crab, we have our develop, watch, we have our path, a dot, action, sync, target, code. All right, so this should be fine. Okay, so the path is telling Docker Compose where to sync, where to look, where to watch, where to watch for file changes, and which files to sync into the container. This is relative to where the compose.yaml file is. The action is okay, so the action is what will happen when a file is changed. Okay, so since our container command runs nodemon, okay, so any file changes will cause the server to automatically restart. If you don't have a command that automatically restarts the server on file change, you might need the action. And the action is, I think, sync plus restarts. Come on, let me grab it all. Okay, so sync plus restart, there we go. Finally, target is where the code is syncing to in the container. Workspace and the, or what is it called? Workdir. Okay, so I think then this works. So okay, so now we can start up our Docker Compose system. with the command docker compose watch. This will do an up on the compose file. I guess this will do an up for us and start watching for file changes. Okay, so what do we want to do? We want to do a docker compose watch here. Where am I? I'm in, oh, I'm in the wrong. There, I want to be here. Oh, and I already have this up here. So this is perfect. So grab you. Okay, and that's that. Cool. All those courses are uploaded to some website. Right now, not yet. So I'm sort of building everything here. Oh, hey, Zilby. Coming by to say hi again. There's not really a path off the desk to the left. I don't know where you're going to try to go. But eventually it's going to make its way onto my LMS, which is learning.brooksbuilds.com, which is this thing right here. So here, if we, there is a link to that. Zilby, hi, can I come here? Okay, Zilby wants pets. But yeah, so Sebastian, that's where it's going to go. The cat loves HVAC filters? Probably not. Oh, are you talking about, oh no, the HVAC? Yeah, no, probably not. But he's purring, so he's happy to pair. He's happy to pair and help out. So I guess we're pairing with Zilby now. And I've lost an arm. Okay, so, oh, where was he sitting before? So he had left the room. I brought him down a couple times, then he would just leave the room because he's like, I'm bored of being here. So he probably went upstairs, he was hanging out, and then he came back down here to get some pets. So I don't know where he was. He was somewhere upstairs. Okay, so he's usually not a lap cat. He doesn't usually like to hang out on us if we're sitting down. Usually he's the type of cat who, if we're holding him, he wants us standing up and walking around. But he'll be here for like a few minutes, and then he'll decide, okay, he doesn't want to be here anymore. But okay, so let's see. Let's update. Okay, so I updated you. I want to. Nope, not that. You. We're gonna do. Where's our watch? Docker Compose watch. And now you're gonna be in X over here. Okay, and let's see. So that's everything for deving with Docker now. So that means, okay, so prodding with Docker. So that's going to be the next section that we're going to do. So I have, in here, we have Docker and GitHub Actions. Now, do we, let's see. Docker and GitHub Actions to sort of set that up. Is it Docker that we want to GitHub Actions or Docker Compose? I go back and forth on this. I've tried Docker Compose and GitHub Actions before, and it works, but I'm not convinced it's like that great of a thing. Okay, he's done. Okay, so profiles in Docker Compose. Run your app. Oh, wait, no, you're not done. You want me to be back down here like this? Okay. Sylvie wants me lying back like this. He immediately gets off of me and then asks me to lay back down. So this might be, Zilby's our boss. So this might be boss's way of saying stream is done. He needs me to work on more important things like petting the cat permanently for the rest of the day. Okay, so profile. Okay, so we have Docker and GitHub Actions. We have profiles in Docker Compose. Run your app in a VPS in Docker. So I would probably Docker Compose in the VPS. Nginx in a container. Okay, so let's actually reset these because I'm not super. I don't know how much I like any of these. Okay, so Docker and GitHub Actions. So basically, container. Okay, so maybe like GitHub Action. I guess that makes sense to like running. So running, you're running a Dockerized app in GitHub Actions. Profiles. So this is, I guess we'll just call this Docker profiles to choose like which service to run at which time. Let's see, what was this one? Run your app in a VPS. Okay, so basically this is Docker Compose in production. Nginx in a container. So my initial thought, okay, is really just like configuring Nginx. That's really what it is that we want to do a basic configure in Nginx to point at where Docker stuff is. Rug, a seven stream streak, nice. So in a VPS, I would probably set up Nginx outside of the container. I would just use Nginx on the system, and then I would have that point to different Docker deployments. So like I might have several different Docker Compose applications running on the single VPS instance. Because like if we take a look at something like I don't know, a simple $5 a month VPS that we can get from AWS or from DigitalOcean or Linode, you should be able to create a bunch of really simple basic applications on one of those. You can use Nginx to have different domains log into each one. So that would be really cool to do. And then deploy script. I don't know if I want to get into this one. You like Hetzner? Is Hetzner in the US, or is that somewhere else in Europe? Like there's a bunch of like boutique and smaller cloud services. I know that, but I'm not familiar with very many of them. So I don't know if I need a deploy script. I think that might be it. I don't know if I really want to talk about that. I don't know if I need like a challenge for something like this. I think like this is going to be a more basic, simple application. I think this would be it. And finishing it up. Oh, I think they're in the US too. Okay. Oh, interesting. Hetzner. So Hetzner Cloud Services VPS. Well, considering that their prices start with euro, and they didn't see that I'm in the US, and yeah, my guess is that they're really aiming at European startups. Yeah, okay, so they're in 2 in Germany. This is really hard to... Germany FSN 1, NBG 1. Finland. Ash and HIL. Those aren't states. Are those cities? Huh, okay. Well, there's 2 locations in the United States, but this is not very many. But it's probably enough for startups, for like getting started with stuff. But it also is, like, see, prices. Do you even have US? They don't have USD. They just have Euro. Oh, Northwest and East. That's it. Oh, Hillsboro, Oregon, and Ashburn, Virginia. Okay, interesting. Oh, an ad break started. Oh no, I didn't even notice it. Ah, okay, you both got it. Thank you, Groovy and X. I can't cancel ads once they've started. Which is not the best. I wish I could. No ads there? Okay, nice. It's like one of those things where ads It's so weird. I have no idea like what's going on with Twitch, because they claim that they're doing all these ads, and then it's like sometimes people get them, sometimes don't. And like, I don't actually care if you get them or not. But it turns the pre-roll ads off, which those happen like every single time, sometimes multiple times. So any way to turn those off is good for me. Their shared vCPUs are a good deal to get started. So, okay, that's pretty cool. I'm probably not going to do this because this, I think it's cheaper for me to go with an American-based one. Because I think I can get cheaper. Can I get cheaper than that? I don't know how much I would have to pay for the exchange rate. uBlock Origin works like a champ. Yeah. Although I heard that YouTube has been really locking down on all the ad blockers, which is really unfortunate. That really sucks. I try not to have any mid-roll ads that sort of like take over the screen. I try not to. I think I have beginning and end and then the banner set up. At least that's what I'm trying to set up. I don't know if I've done it correctly or not. Okay, but this is pretty cool. This is nice. Let's see, continuing back with this. I think once we have this is like getting this going and running this in production. I might just use DigitalOcean because I'm used to it. Okay, so it's working. Yeah, I think you have to update like every day these days, because I think they're doing major changes just to fight it. And by they, I mean YouTube. Okay, so we will play around with these, but it's 3:41. It's getting pretty late. I've been streaming for 6 hours, 16 minutes. So I think I'm going to go ahead and call it for a day. And next week we're going to write articles for these. I don't know how many we're going to get, because these are more involved in figuring these things out, but we'll get it going. I know it's an attorney. I know it's one of the negatives. Like I do longer stream days, but now you have to wait a week for like the same thing. So we'll figure it out. Tomorrow my stream is going to be TIS 100. So we are playing a game which requires coding. We're doing assembly coding, which is a lot of fun. We're getting near the end. The puzzles are getting really hard. So we'll see how far we get to that. If we finish the game, that would be amazing. And if we don't, then it will be another week or two to play with that. So that being said, I don't think I have anything else. I hope that you all have a great rest of your day. Thank you everybody for hanging out. Thank you X for the help with figuring out the watch. That was really nice to get Assembly the Dark Side. Yeah, it's an interesting sort of choice on their end, but it's fun. So I don't think I have anything else. So with that, have a great rest of your Tuesday, and I will see you next time. No problem, X. It's, to me, I put the backseating allowed because I want this to be like a pair programming session type thing. So I think it's very good. It's very helpful. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for hanging out. I will see you next time. Bye.